Hi everyone, I'm Sunny from Susan's family. Today I'm bringing you a new pattern. The Everthought cardigan from Retro Nostalgia series. This cardigan consists of the front body, back body, sleeves, edging and horn buttons. First, crochet the front body, then crochet the back body. Join the front and back bodies, then crochet the sleeves and assemble them. Next, crochet the edging at the corresponding positions. Then sew on the horn buttons to the front body. First, let's learn how to make the front body. It's divided into the left front and right front. The left and right here refer to the actual wearing sides. Both front sides consist of motif 1, motif 2, motif 3 and the heart shape. First, crochet the corresponding number of the 3 motifs and the heart shape, then sew them together. First, let's learn motif 1. Use the chain ring method for casting on. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The stitches used are chain, slip stitch and double crochet. Now watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. To make it easier to watch, I'll use yarn in different colors for demonstration. Colors are random. For specific yarn, color scheme and hook size. Let's cast on first. Leave a yarn tail and make a slip knot. This knot doesn't count as one stitch. Then make 4 chain stitches. Finally, make 1 slip stitch into the first chain stitch. Pull tight. This completes the casting on. After casting on, crochet the first round. Make 3 chains as beginning chain. For the double crochet, which counts as 1 stitch, crochet 2 double crochets into the foundation chain space. You can crochet while securing the starting yarn tail at the same time. Then make 3 chains. Crochet 3 more double crochets. Three double crochets made in the same position are called one leaf. Then make 3 chains. Crochet 2 more leaves downward. Crochet 3 chains as a bridge between leaves. Finally, make 3 chains. Pick up the beginning chain, and make 1 slip stitch. The first round is complete. Switch colors for the next round. Secure the yarn tail first here. Make 1 chain stitch to secure. Leave about 5 cm yarn tail, and cut the yarn. Pull tight the yarn tail. Now the yarn tail is settled. Continue crocheting round 2. Join the yarn through the small hole, on the right side of the beginning chain. Take the corresponding yarn. Make a slip knot with the yarn. Draw through the small hole. Adjust the loop size. Now the yarn is joined properly. Work 3 chains as beginning chain. Make 2 double crochets in the same position. Then crochet 1 chain. Skip the left stitch. Crochet 1 leaf in the left chain space. Three chains. And 1 leaf. Call the stitches in this space a corner. This round is crocheting such corners in these chain spaces. Crochet 1 chain as transition between each corner. Skip all stitches without working. I'll demonstrate one such corner again. Crochet 1 chain. Skip the left stitch. Pick up the next space and crochet 1 leaf. Three chains and 1 leaf. Repeat this process. Crochet all the way down to the last chain space. Come to the corresponding position. Crochet 1 leaf in the joining yarn chain space. and 3 chains. Form a corner with the stitches in the space. Hook into the beginning chain slip stitch. Round 2 is done. Switch colors for the next round. Secure the yarn tail. Now crochet round 3. Join yarn in the chain space on the right side of the beginning chain. Work 3 chains as beginning chain. Crochet 2 double crochets in the same stitch. One chain. Skip a stitch. Crochet 1 leaf in the chain space of the left side 1 chain. One chain. Skip a stitch. Crochet 1 corner in the chain space at the middle of the corner. This round is all about crocheting corners in the chain spaces at the middle of corners. Crochet 1 leaf in the chain space of 1 chain. Work 1 chain as a bridge between the leaf and the corner. Follow this pattern going down. Complete the last chain space. Come to the corresponding position. Crochet 1 leaf in the chain space, where you joined the yarn. And 3 chains. Complete the corner at the beginning of the round. Pick up the top of the beginning chain and slip stitch. Round 3 is done. Switch colors for the next round. Secure the yarn. The crocheting method for round 4 and round 5 is the same as round 3. Skip a stitch and leave unworked. Crochet 1 leaf in the chain space of 1 chain. Crochet 1 corner in the chain space of the corner. Chain 1 as a transition between each leaf and corner. Switch colors and secure the yarn after completing each round. Refer to the previous demonstration. Complete the remaining rows. After finishing round 5, secure the yarn tails, and weave all ends into the wrong side along the fabric texture. You can weave them in for a longer distance. Once all ends are secured, motif 1 is complete. Measure the width of the motif now. Compare it with the data given in the chart. If there's a significant difference, adjust your tension and recrochet. Then follow the previous demonstration. Complete the remaining motif 1 as needed. Next, let's learn motif 2. Start with a foundation chain. Work back and forth for the first few rows. Finally, crochet in rounds for 1 round. The new stitches used are single crochet, and a bobble stitch made with 5 double crochets. Now watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. First, start with a foundation chain. Refer to the chart and crochet the corresponding number of chain stitches. Pay attention not to crochet the chains too tight. After completing, check the stitch count. The starting chain is now done. Next, crochet row 1. This row is worked on the wrong side of the piece. Read the chart from left to right. Make 1 beginning chain as the starting chain for the single crochet. This is the beginning chain for the single crochet. The beginning chain for the single crochet doesn't count as 1 stitch. Then pick up the second chain from the hook, this top strand of the chain. Then make a single crochet. This row is worked by picking up the chains and making single crochets correspondingly. Refer to the chart and complete this row. Next, crochet row 2. Make 1 beginning chain. Turn the work counterclockwise. Then pick up stitches, and work single crochets correspondingly. Once completed, the side facing us now is the right side of the piece. The texture is clearer. This completes row 2. Moving on to row 3, this row uses the same crochet method as row 2. Refer to the chart and finish this row. Now crochet row 4. Crochet on the right side. Make 1 beginning chain. Turn the work and pick up corresponding stitches to work 8 single crochets. Next, make a 5 double crochets bobble stitch, hereafter referred to as bobble stitch. First, work 5 incomplete double crochets. Yarn over the hook. Insert the hook into the left stitch. Yarn over and draw through. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. 1 incomplete double crochet is done. Work another stitch. Yarn over. Insert into the same stitch. Yarn over and draw through. Yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. Another incomplete double crochet is completed. Continue to work 3 more incomplete double crochets in the same position. There are now 6 loops on your hook. Yarn over and draw through all loops in once. Gently tighten. A 5 double crochet bobble stitch is completed. The braid above to the right is its stitch. Then work 1 single crochet. Use your right middle finger to press against the back of the bobble stitch. Make the bobble stitch stand out forward. Work 7 single crochets correspondingly. Row 4 is done. Row 5 is crocheted on the wrong side. Insert the hook into the previous row's stitches, and work single crochets. Refer to the chart and finish this row. Move to row 6. Make 1 beginning chain. Turn the work and pick up stitches to work 6 single crochets. Then work 1 bobble stitch. First pick up the left stitch, and work 5 incomplete double crochets. After completing, yarn over, pull through all loops on your hook. Gently tighten. 1 bobble stitch is completed. Then pick up the left stitch, and work 3 single crochets. Pay attention to make the bobble stitch pop out on the right side, when working the first single crochet. Then work 1 bobble stitch. Work 6 single crochets next. Row 6 is completed. From row 7 to row 17. Always work 1 row of single crochets on the wrong side. On the right side, refer to the chart and work bobble stitches at corresponding positions. Work single crochets in all other positions. Bobble stitches should always pop out toward the right side. Refer to the previous demonstration. Just complete the corresponding rows. For rows 18-19, pick up the stitches from the previous row. Work single crochets into each stitch in sequence. Follow the chart to finish these 2 rows. I've completed it. After finishing row 19, continue working 1 round of single crochets counterclockwise around the fabric piece. Start with this top edge. Make 1 beginning chain. Pick up the stitch and work single crochets into each stitch in sequence. Continue until 1 stitch remains. Reach the corresponding position. Pick up the last stitch and crochet 3 single crochets. As one corner, the top edge is finished. Rotate the fabric piece. Work on the left side edge. Skip the stitch where you made 3 single crochets. Pick up the stitch on the left side edge. Work a single crochet. Let me demonstrate once more. Slip 1 stitch and work a single crochet. This is how you pick up the edge stitches on the side and work single crochets correspondingly. Refer to the previous demonstration. Continue until 1 stitch remains. Now you've reached the corresponding position. Pick up the same position and crochet 3 single crochets as the corner for the side edge. This way, the side edge is completed. Now work the bottom edge. Pick up the other 2 strands and work single crochets correspondingly. Follow the chart to complete this row. Arrive at the last stitch. Pick up the chain stitch and crochet 3 single crochets. This way, the bottom edge is completed. The crocheting method for the right side is identical to the left side. Refer to the previous demonstration. Follow the chart until the turning chain position. Arrive at the corresponding position. Pick up the edge stitches, and work 2 single crochets. Finally, pick up the first stitch and slip stitch. This round is completed. Then secure the yarn. And tuck all yarn tails to the wrong side. This way, motif 2 is done. Now measure the motif's dimension. It should be similar to motif 1. If there's too much difference, it's recommended to adjust your tension and recrochet. Follow the demonstration here. Complete the remaining motif 2 as needed. Next, learn motif 3 and the heart shape. Both starting with a chain ring method. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. New stitch techniques include half double crochets, HDC 2-in-1 and treble crochets. Now, let's show. First, learn motif 3. The starting round of motif 3 is almost identical to motif 1. Refer to the demonstration of motif 1. I've already completed it here. Note, when motif 3 has 3 chain spaces left. Work 1 chain first. Then hook into the beginning chain to make 1 half double crochet. Which replaces the original 3 chains. The first round is done. After completing, crochet round 2. Make 3 chains as beginning chain. Hook into the chain space below to make 1 double crochet. Then pick up stitches, and work double crochets correspondingly. Make 2 double crochets in the next chain space. Three chains. And 2 double crochets. Consider the stitches from the pickup as a group. This round repeats crocheting this group. Follow this method. Continue crocheting until before the ending chain space. Reach the corresponding position. Pick up the chain space and make 2 double crochets. One chain. Pick up the beginning chain, and make 1/2 double crochet. Round 2 is completed. Switch colors for the next round. Secure the yarn. Check after this round is completed. The fabric piece is roughly square shaped. Divide the square into corner positions made of 3 chains and edge positions between 2 corners. The remaining rounds of motif 3 follow the same crochet method as round 2. For rounds 3 and 4, join the yarn at the corner inside the right side of the beginning chain. Pick up stitches at edge positions and make double crochets correspondingly. At corner positions, pick up chain spaces and make 2 double crochets. 3 chains and 2 double crochets. Follow this pattern. Refer to the chart to complete the remaining rounds, and secure the yarn. Weave in the yarn tail on the wrong side. This completes motif 3. Then measure the dimension. It should be similar in size to motif 1 and motif 2. If there's too much difference, it's recommended to adjust your hand tension and recrochet, then follow this demonstration. Complete the remaining required motif 3. Next, learn the heart shape. Start with a chain ring method. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. First, cast on. Make 6 chain stitches. And join with a slip stitch to the first stitch. The starting chain is completed. Then crochet the first round. Make 4 beginning chains. Then work 1 treble crochet into the starting ring. The technique for treble crochet is yarn over twice. Insert the hook into the ring. Pull the yarn through. Then yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat 3 times. This completes 1 treble crochet. Let me demonstrate again. Yarn over twice. Insert the hook into the ring. Pull the yarn through. Then yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat 3 times. Like this, another treble crochet is done. Continue with this method to crochet 4 treble crochets. Then make 1 chain, 1 treble crochet, 1 chain, 7 treble crochets. After completing, work 3 chains. Pick up the chain space and make one slip stitch. The slip stitches for the oval shape should not be tightened. Then work 3 chains. Hook into the top of the beginning chain, and make one slip stitch not tightened. This completes the first round. Now proceed to the second row. Make one beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet and 1 half double crochet into the slip stitch. Work 1 half double crochet increase into the next stitch, which means working 2 half double crochets in one stitch. Then work 1 half double crochet. One half double crochet increase. Three half double crochets. Two chains. Skip the chain below. Work 1 double crochet into the left stitch. Two chains. Skip the chain. Work 3 half double crochets into the left stitch. One half double crochet increase. Half double crochet. One half double crochet increase. Then on the last stitch, work 1 half double crochet and 1 single crochet. Work 1 loose slip stitch into the left chain. Row 2 is completed. Then secure the yarn. Leave a yarn tail about 3 times the sewing length, and cut the yarn. One heart is done. Then place the heart right side up at the center of fabric piece 3. Evenly secure with stitch markers. Thread the reserved yarn tail through the needle. Sew together 2 adjacent segments of the 2 fabric pieces. Pay attention not to sew through the fabric. And keep the sewing gaps small. Sew evenly all the way around like this. Then secure the yarn tail on the wrong side of the heart. The heart is sewn on. Then follow this demonstration. Finish crocheting the remaining hearts needed, and sew each to motif 3. Once all motifs are completed, refer to the structure diagram. Place the motifs on the left and right front pieces at corresponding positions. Make sure the heart shape of motif 3 is facing up. Then sew together each adjacent side of the motifs. Use the whip stitch technique for sewing here. Here's a method for sewing down a motif. You can first watch the video to learn the technique. Then proceed with sewing. Note that the stitch count of motif 2 is less than motif 1 and motif 3. Refer to the sewing positions shown in the joining diagram when sewing, or adjust the insertion points yourself, as long as the fabric lies flat. Now, let's sew. I'll demonstrate using a swatch here. First, sew the horizontal sections. First, pick up the sewing thread. Take the sewing length, 2-3 times the length of the thread. Pay attention to not placing the position incorrectly. Use the whip stitch technique. Place the corresponding motifs with wrong sides together, right sides both facing out. First connect the corresponding side. Tie off and weave in the ends on the wrong side edge. Find the chain stitch position of the small motif. Pick up the half stitch at the highest point of the middle chain. Insert the hook and whip stitch. You can sew an extra time to secure. Continue picking up half stitches on the left chain. Reach the stitch position. Pick up the back loop of the stitch. That is, the two strands closest to the stitch. Match and sew together. Here you can insert the hook from underneath the yarn. The yarn won't twist. The half stitch at the slip stitch position is less noticeable. Pay attention not to miss it. Reach the chain position. Sew to the middle chain stitch position only. After sewing, take another pair of motifs. Pay attention to color scheme placement. Continue sewing. Gently tighten the seam position. At the ending, sew to the middle chain stitch position as well. Pass to the wrong side. Tie off and weave in the ends neatly. This way the horizontal section is sewn. Now sew the vertical section. Match and sew together the connecting position using the previous method. Reach the position where 4 motifs meet. Pick the middle chain stitch and match to sew together. If there's a large gap here, sew a few more stitches. Just make sure no gaps remain. Continue sewing. That's all for the front body. Next, let's learn the back body. The back body consists of the body and left, right shoulder parts. First crochet the body, then crochet the left and right shoulder parts separately. Finally sew together the side seams and shoulders of the back body with the front body. Before starting the actual crocheting, refer to the gauge swatch diagram on the pattern. Check the video for the crochet technique of the motif. Work a gauge swatch. Then based on the measurement results, adjust your tension or switch to the right needle size to meet the gauge swatch size requirements. First, let's learn the body. We will start from foundation chain, working back and forth in rows. The new stitch technique used is DC3 together in 1. Now watch me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Start with foundation chain. Refer to the chart and work the corresponding number of chains. Swatch stitch count is random. Pay attention not to make chains too tight. Check the stitch count after completing. The casting on is done. Next, work row 1. Work 3 chains as beginning chain. The turning chain counts as 1 stitch, then work into the 5th chain from the end. Pick up the chain and work 1 row of double crochets correspondingly. The first row is completed. Next, work row 2. Work 2 chains as beginning chain. Turn the fabric and work 1 chain. Work a DC3 together in 1 into the left stitch. The technique is, first work 3 incomplete double crochets into the left stitch. There are 4 loops on the hook. Yarn over. Pull through all loops in 1. 1 DC3 together in 1 is completed. Then work 3 chains. Skip 6 stitches. Work a DC3 together in 1 into the 7th stitch. First work 3 incomplete double crochets into the left stitch. Then yarn over. Pull through all loops in 1. 1 DC3 together in 1 is completed. Then work 2 chains. 1 DC3 together in 1. This group of crocheted stitches is called a pattern. Then work 3 chains. Skip 6 stitches. Work a pattern into the left stitch, which is 1 DC3 together in 1. 2 chains and 1 DC3 together in 1. This row is working one pattern every 6 stitches apart. And work 3 chains as a transition between patterns. Follow this pattern. Refer to the chart to complete the last pattern. Now the last pattern is completed. Work 3 chains. Hook into the top of the beginning chain, and work 1 DC3 together in 1. One chain and 1/2 double crochet. Row 2 is done. Then work row 3. Chain 1 as beginning chain. Turn and work 1 single crochet into the next stitch. Two chains. Go to the 6 stitches in the space of row 1. Pick up the 3rd and 4th stitches from right to left. Work 1 treble crochet into each. Remember to weave into the chain above. Work 2 chains. Work 1 single crochet into the chain space above the left side pattern. Two chains. Continue to pick up the stitches in the space below. Correspondingly work 1 treble crochet into the 3rd and 4th stitches, mindful to weave into the chain above. Work 2 more chains. This row is to work 1 single crochet into every chain space in the middle of each pattern. Work 1 single crochet into the double crochet stitches in the space of row 1. Work 2 treble crochets. Remember to weave into the braid above. Between every 2 treble crochets and 1 single crochet, work 2 chains as a transition. Repeat this process all the way down to the last 2 treble crochets. Now you've completed the last 2 treble crochets. Then work 2 chains. Pick up the beginning chain of row 2 and work 1 single crochet. This completes row 3. Next is row 4. Make 3 chains to start. Correspond to the stitch below. After turning, pick up the left chain space and work 2 double crochets. Then pick up the left stitch and work 2 double crochets. Pick up the next chain space and work 2 double crochets. Pick up the left stitch and work 1 double crochet. This row is worked by making 2 double crochets in each chain space. When you encounter a stitch, pick up the stitch and work 1 double crochet. Follow this pattern. Refer to the chart to complete this row. Row 4 is now complete. In the following crocheting, treat rows 2 through 4 as one repeating sequence. Repeat this sequence for the rest of the project. Refer to the previous demonstration. Follow the chart to complete the corresponding rows. During the crocheting process, you may run out of one skein of yarn and need to join new yarn. Join new yarn at the required position and continue crocheting. Now watch me demonstrate the method of joining yarn. For easier viewing, I'm using different, colored yarn for demonstration here. In actual work, no color change is needed. Joining yarn can be done anywhere except at chain stitches. When crocheting any stitch, leave one yarn over remaining. Then take the new yarn. Leave a yarn tail and yarn over to pull through. This completes the stitch and completes the color change. Continue crocheting a few more stitches. Then weave in the yarn tail on the wrong side. This is the method for joining yarn during the crocheting process. When you encounter positions needing yarn joining later, just refer to this demonstration. After completing the body, do not break the yarn. This completes the body section. After completing the body, crochet the left and right shoulder parts upwards respectively. The method is almost identical to the back body. The first row of each shoulder part requires decreasing. Now, let's show. Let's continue with the right shoulder part first. Continue crocheting with the yarn from the body section. The stitch for this row is the same as row 2. Refer to the chart and crochet all the way down to the last 2 chain stitches. Now we've reached the corresponding position. Crochet a DC3 together in one and a double crochet cluster. The stitch for this position is, first, work 3 incomplete double crochets in the same stitch. After completing, skip 2 stitches. Work 1 incomplete double crochet in the third stitch. Yarn over and pull through all loops on the hook. This completes 1 DC3 together in one and a double crochet cluster. The first row is completed. The crocheting method and pattern for the remaining rows of the right shoulder part are identical to the body section. Refer to the chart and the demonstration of the body section, and crochet the required number of rows. Finally, secure the yarn tails. The right shoulder part is done. Next is the left shoulder part. Starting from the leftmost insertion point of the first row of the right shoulder part, skip the required number of stitches to the left. Then join yarn in the next stitch and continue crocheting. The technique has been demonstrated before. Just follow the pattern to complete it. That's all for the left shoulder part. Up to this point, the back body is completed. Now sew together the corresponding positions of the shoulders and side seams between the front and back bodies. First, sew the shoulders with the wrong sides facing each other. Mark the positions to be sewn according to the chart. Then sew according to the previous motif demonstration. After completing that, sew the side seams. Before sewing, refer to the chart again. Mark the positions to be sewn on the front and back bodies. Then proceed with sewing. My sample has already been marked in advance. The top is the armhole, so this side seam here. You can add a few more stitch markers along this edge to make it convenient for even sewing. Then join the yarn from the wrong side near one end. Secure with a knot. Bring the yarn needle out through one stitch on the back body edge. Continue to pick relatively corresponding positions, that is, insert into the back loop of the motif. Simultaneously pick one stitch on the back body edge. Insert the needle from front to back. Gently tighten. This completes one stitch. Continue from front to back. Pass through the back loop of the motif. And one stitch on the back body edge. These two corresponding stitches. Gently tighten the yarn tail. Another stitch is completed. Repeat this process. Continue sewing the remaining part. Note that the insertion point on the back body is not fixed. Ensure it lies flat and looks neat after sewing. Align with the front body. Add a couple more stitches at the end. Tie a knot to secure after finishing. Weave in the yarn tail on the wrong side. This completes the side seam. Next, learn the crocheting method for the sleeves. Start with a foundation chain. Work back and forth in rows. New stitch techniques include DC 2-in-1 and SC 2-in-1. Watch my demonstration of the specific crocheting method. First, make a foundation chain. The method is identical to the demonstration for the back body. I've already made the foundation chain here. The stitch count for the swatch is random. Move on to row 1. Work 3 chains as beginning chain. Then start from the 4th chain from the hook. Pick up the chain and work double crochet into each stitch. Refer to the pattern until one chain remains. Reach the corresponding position. Make a DC 2-in-1 in the last chain. That means working 2 double crochets in the same stitch. This completes row 1. The side facing you now is the right side of the piece. The yarn used for this row is called the main color. Since this yarn will be used later, don't cut the yarn. Enlarge the loop on the crochet hook. Pass the fabric or yarn ball through the loop. Slightly tighten the tail. Set it aside for now. Now let's work on row 2. This row is crocheted on the right side. Join the yarn at the beginning chain of row 1. Then work 2 chains as beginning chain. Work 2 half double crochets in the left stitch. Skip 2 stitches. Work 1 cluster in the left stitch. The crocheting method for the rest is identical to row 2 of the back body. Refer to the chart and previous demonstration. Continue all the way down to the last cluster. Reach the corresponding position. Work 1 chain. Skip 2 stitches. Work 3 half double crochets in the left stitch. Row 2 is done. Since this yarn won't be used again until a long distance away, just cut the yarn. Now let's work on row 3. First, carry the yarn across. Insert the hook into the last stitch of row 2. Pull the main yarn through. The yarn on the wrong side is the carried yarn. Don't pull the carried yarn too tight. Keep it level with the fabric. Continue working this row. Chain 1 as beginning chain. After turning, work 1 single crochet increase in the left half double crochet stitch, which means working 2 single crochets in the same stitch. Then work 2 single crochets in the left stitch. The following crocheting method is identical to the demonstration of row 3 on the back piece. Refer to the chart. Work all the way to the last 2 chain stitches. When you reach the corresponding position, work 2 single crochets in the left stitch. Hook into the beginning chain and make a single crochet increase. Row 3 is completed. Next is row 4. Work with the main yarn on the right side. This row's technique is identical to row 4 of the back body. Refer to the pattern and finish this row by yourself. Once completed, switch colors on the next row. Carry the yarn across for the main color. Row 4 is done. Now work row 5. Join yarn at the beginning chain of row 4. Work 2 chains as beginning chain. Chain 1. Work 1 half double crochet in the same stitch. Chain 3. Skip 5 stitches. Slip stitch into 1 stitch to work 1 cluster. After completing, chain 3. The following section is identical to row 2. Refer to the pattern all the way down to the last 3 chains. Now completed the last 3 chains. Work 1 half double crochet in the last stitch. Chain 1. Half double crochet 1. Row 5 is done. Secure the yarn tail. Now work row 6. Continue crocheting with the main yarn. Draw the main yarn through at the last stitch. Pay attention not to pull the carried yarn too tight. After completing, follow the pattern to finish this row. At this point row 6 is completed. Now check the actual project. The remaining part of the sleeves uses the same crochet method as the back body. Just work the first row of this sequence group. Switch to color for crocheting, and always work back and forth from right to left. For the remaining rows, work back and forth with the main yarn. Refer to the previous demonstration. Follow the pattern to complete the remaining rows. Finally secure all yarn tails. One sleeve is completed. Repeat this process. Complete the other sleeve. Next is sewing the sleeves together. Use the whip stitch method. First sew the side seams of the sleeve. Pay attention to align the edge patterns. And wrap the carried yarn between color changes. Here's a method for picking up side edges with whip stitch. You can first watch the video to learn the technique, then follow the structural diagram for sewing. Now, let's sew. I'll demonstrate using a swatch. Whip stitch method for fabric piece side seams. Place the two fabric pieces with right sides together. Match the corresponding sewing positions. Take the corresponding yarn and secure it on one edge. Then pick up the edge stitches and whip stitch. At the beginning position, pay attention to secure with an extra stitch. Then continue whip stitching. Pay attention to leave slightly spaced insertion points. Not too dense, and don't leave large spaces. Don't pull the sewing thread too tight. Keep the fabric piece flat and soft. Align the two sides evenly. Don't misalign. Here you can insert the hook from underneath the yarn. The yarn won't curl up. Secure the last stitch with an extra stitch. Weave the yarn tail to the wrong side. Tie off and weave in the ends. Secure all remaining yarn tails the same way. That's the end of the whip stitch method for sewing fabric piece edges. After sewing the sleeve sides, sew the last row of the sleeve to the armhole. Fold the sleeve sides down. And smooth out the front and back bodies. Align the edge where the sleeve is sewn, with the edge where the side seams of the front and back bodies are sewn. Align the middle point of the last row with the highest point of the shoulders on the front and back bodies. Secure with stitch markers. And evenly secure the middle position as well. Then pick up half stitches from the underarm and whip stitch the sleeve to the body. The method is almost the same as sewing the side seams. Refer to the previous demonstration to sew the sleeve onto the body. That's all for the sleeves. Next, learn how to crochet the edging. The edging consists of 4 parts: the hem, the front band, the collar edge and the cuffs. The crocheting method is identical for all parts. Let's start with the hem. We will start from foundation chain, working back and forth in rows. No new stitch techniques are used. Please watch the demonstration next. First, chain cast on. I'll continue using this swatch for demonstration. Attach yarn in the rightmost chain space of the right front. Work the corresponding number of chains. The swatch stitch count is random. Check it after completion. The front side of the chain has a braid-like texture. while the back side has a horizontal line. This horizontal line is the inner bar of the chain. After completing the cast-on, work row 1. First work 2 chains as beginning chain. The turning chain counts as 1 stitch. Then work half double crochets correspondingly starting from the 4th inner bar from the end. Once completed, slip stitch in the first stitch to the left of the joining position. Row 1 is done. Continue to crochet row 2. Join with a slip stitch next to the beginning chain. Turn the work piece. Crocheting on the wrong side. Take a look. There's one strand underneath the half double crochet on the back side. Pick up that strand and work half double crochets correspondingly. For the last stitch, hook into the top of the beginning chain. Now row 2 is completed. Continue to crochet row 3. Make 1 beginning chain. The beginning chain doesn't count as 1 stitch. After turning the work piece, pick up the horizontal strand on the wrong side of the previous row's half double crochet. Work half double crochets correspondingly. After completing the last stitch, skip 1 stitch and join with a slip stitch. Row 3 is completed. Move on to crochet row 4. Join with a slip stitch in the adjacent position. Adjust the slip stitch position according to actual conditions if needed. Turn the work. Continue picking up the same position to work half double crochets. For the last stitch, pick up the stitch and work 1/2 double crochet. Row 4 is completed. In subsequent crocheting, consider rows 3 to 4 as one sequence. Each sequence corresponds to approximately 3 stitches of the garment. During actual crocheting, you can also adjust the slip stitch position as needed. Follow this method. Refer to the chart and complete the remaining rows. Note that since motif 2 has fewer edge stitches than motif 1 and motif 3, when encountering motif 2 during crocheting, adjust the slip stitch position according to actual conditions, ensuring the row counts of the 3 motifs are roughly identical. This completes the hem. After finishing the hem, proceed to crochet the front band. Join yarn at the bottom end of the hem to begin crocheting. After completing the crocheting, join yarn at the neckline of the right front body to crochet the collar edge. The method is the same as the hem demonstration. Note that when crocheting the collar edge to the back body shoulder part, 1 double crochet corresponds to 3 stitches. 1/2 double crochet corresponds to 2 stitches. Follow this height relationship to pick the corresponding position for slip stitch, ensuring the connection remains flat. This completes the front band and collar edge. Finally, move to the cuffs. The crocheting method for the cuffs is almost the same as the bottom edge. Start with a chain stitch from the side seam of the sleeve. Crochet in rounds counterclockwise. Note that the slip stitch intervals for the cuffs differ from other parts. The method remains the same. This will create a gathered effect. Refer to the chart and crochet accordingly. After completing the last row, join with a slip stitch to the beginning. Next, watch my demonstration of connecting the cuffs. I'll continue the demonstration using a swatch. After completing the last row of the cuffs, pick up the chain stitches and correspondingly make 1 row of slip stitches. Finally, join with a slip stitch to the sleeve body and fasten off the yarn. This completes the cuff connection. Finally, sew on the horn buttons to the front body. The first horn button goes at the very top of the neckline. Align the leather straight edge with the inside edge of the front band. 1 horn button per motif on average. Distribute them evenly. Make sure the front band overlaps perfectly when the buttons are fastened. Just align the buttons with the buttonholes. Below, I'll demonstrate a method for attaching horn buttons. You can first refer to the video to learn the technique, then proceed with the sewing. Now, let's show. I'll demonstrate the button sewing method using this swatch. The swatch position is random. Only demonstrating the method. Take a piece of sewing thread, thread the gold tail needle, tie a double knot at the yarn end. First sew through the corresponding position on the wrong side of the fabric. Secure by drawing through the reserved yarn loop. Then work upwards. Insert the needle into the corresponding position of the leather triangular sewing line from the wrong side. Sew along the sewing line. Keep the fabric flat while sewing. After completing this round, tie a double knot on the wrong side of the fabric after sewing. Weave in the ends. This button is now secured. Continue downward using this method. Sew the remaining buttons. Up to this point, this cardigan has been fully explained. If you have any unclear points during the knitting process, don't hesitate to join our Facebook group to get supports. Susan's Family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.